A dash cam is only as good as the quality of the camera. Some of these claim to have 4K and others 1080p. So the question is that $30 dash cam just as good as the one that cost $130? Well, let's find out. In the first test, we'll see which dash cams do the best job at reading license plates. Then we'll see which ones do the best job at capturing images while moving. Finally, we'll see which dash cams offer the best night vision. The least expensive camera we'll be testing at a price of $22 is this V300. They claim that this camera has unmatched clarity with a 1296p HD resolution. It does not come with the memory card. They claim it offers superior night vision, built-in Wi-Fi, and exclusive VCar app to effortlessly control your Wi-Fi front dash cam.
Please insert a memory card.
And the V300 is made in China. The V300 does not have a display. So unless you're using the mobile app, setting up the camera to be pointed in the right direction is a bit of a guessing game. In the first test, let's compare how the dash cams perform facing west into the sunset. The signs indicate the distance from the test vehicle and the farthest is 75 feet away and looks pretty grainy. At 10 feet in front of the test vehicle, it's pretty challenging to read the license plate. At only 15 feet, I can no longer read the license plate. At a price of $30 is this ARIFAYZ brand. They claim Wi-Fi FHD 1080p. It offers a 24-hour parking mode, supports up to 128GB SD card, up to 30 frames per second.
Please insert the SD card. Please insert the SD card.
And the ARIFAYZ is made in China. The V300 is on the left and the ARIFAYZ is on the right. And the ARIFAYZ is capturing more light. However, the video footage is even more grainy than the less expensive V300. And 10 feet out, the license plate is somewhat difficult to read for both dash cameras. At 15 feet, the license plate is pretty grainy for both cameras. I can no longer read the license plate at 20 feet. At a price of $40 is this Miden S7. They claim it offers 2.5K for the front cam and 1080p for the rear. It offers a front and rear camera. It has a large 3.2-inch full HD screen. And the Miden S7 is made in China. And the ARIFAYZ is on the left and the Miden is on the right. Pointed into the sunset, the Miden looks way too dark or underexposed. And the Miden looks just as grainy as the ARIFAYZ for a license plate at 10 and 15 feet from the test vehicle. I can no longer read the license plate at 20 feet. At a price of $45 is this e-yeeger S60. They claim it has a 2560p mini card camera, 2-inch IPS screen. It comes with a 32GB SD card, WDR night vision. It supports up to a 256GB card, and the S60 is made in China. The Miden is on the left and the e-yeeger is on the right, and the amount of light with the e-yeeger seems about right. However, both cameras seem pretty grainy at 75 feet. Both cameras are performing about the same at capturing the license plate at 10 feet, and the license plate is pretty grainy at 15 feet. At a price of $65 is this OVAMAN K600. It's a dual-channel dash camera. The claim to camera is 4K ultra clear. It's also supposed to offer 5G Wi-Fi. It includes GPS tracking, and the OVAMAN is made in China. The screen size is 3.59 inches. It comes with a 32GB SD card. The e-yeeger is on the left, and the OVAMAN is on the right. And the OVAMAN seems to be offering the right amount of light, definitely better than the e-yeeger. And the OVAMAN is definitely offering the sharpest image yet. With the OVAMAN, it's pretty easy to read the license plate at 10 feet away. Still looking good at 15 feet. Becoming a little more difficult at 20 feet, but twice the distance as the previous brands. At a price of $90 is this Coolcrazy brand. They claim it offers 4K ultra clear, 5G Wi-Fi. It also offers GPS tracking. It's a front and rear dash cam. They claim it offers ultra high definition 2160p night vision. They claim it helps you read the numbers on license plates. The OVAMAN is on the left and the Coolcrazy is on the right. And the Coolcrazy seems unbothered by the sunlight and the exposure level seems to be the best yet. And the license plate is pretty easy to read at 10 and 15 feet. And the Coolcrazy is definitely the best yet at 20 feet. And the license plate is pretty grainy at 25 feet but still readable. And it's too grainy for me to read at 30 feet. With a coupon at a price of $100 is this Red Tiger brand. This is a very popular dash cam with over 10,000 sold each month. It includes both the forward and rear facing cameras. The front camera claims to be full 4K. It comes with a 32GB SD card. It has built-in Wi-Fi GPS. It also has a 3.16-inch screen. It also offers night vision. And Red Tiger is made in China. Coolcrazy is on the left and the Red Tiger is on the right. Facing into the sunset, both cameras are doing a pretty good job, but the brightness level of the Red Tiger looks a little bit better. And the license plate is very easy to read at 10 and 15 feet. The Coolcrazy and the Red Tiger are now tied for the best yet at 20 feet. And the license plate is pretty grainy for both cameras at 25 feet, but still readable. And it's just too grainy for me to read the license plate from 30 feet away. Also at a price of $100, the same price as the Red Tiger, is this ROVE R2. They claim that it has a Starvis 2 sensor. It even comes with a 128GB SD card. They claim to have the fastest download speed of 20 megabits per second. They claim it offers full 4K. They claim the rear camera is 1080p. They claim it offers exceptional image quality and vivid colors and sharp details even in challenging lighting conditions. We're going to test that. It even offers GPS. And the ROVE R2 is made in China. The red tiger is on the left and the ROVE is on the right. And the ROVE seems to offer the sharpest image yet, and the sign at 75 feet distance is pretty clear. And the license plate is very easy to read at 10 and 15 feet. The red tiger and the ROVE are still doing well at 20 feet. And the license plate is pretty grainy for both cameras at 25 feet, but still readable. And it's too grainy for me to read at 30 feet. At a price of $114 with the coupon is this Wolfbox i07. It's a 3-channel dash cam with 3 different cameras. The forward-facing camera is full 4K and the 2 additional cameras are 1080p. It comes with a 32GB SD card, IR night vision, and 24-hour parking mode. It's supposed to have 6 infrared night vision LED lights with advanced Starvis technology. And the Wolfbox is made in China. ROVE is on the left and the Wolfbox is on the right. And the light from the sunset is causing the Wolfbox to appear underexposed. However, the 75-foot marker seems almost as sharp as the ROVE, and the license plate is very clear at 10 and 15 feet. Both cameras are still fairly sharp at 20 feet, and the license plate is pretty grainy at 25 feet and too grainy to read at 30. At a price of $114 is this VIOFO brand. They claim it has a 1440p camera and 60 frames per second. Unlike most of the other brands, it's only designed for front dash cam. They claim it has a 5-megapixel Starvis sensor, 140-degree wide angle. It includes GPS and a buffered parking mode. And the VIOFO brand is made in China. And the Wolfbox is on the left and the VIOFO is on the right. Even facing into the sunset, the exposure level with the VIOFO seems about perfect. And the VIOFO definitely seems to have the sharpest image yet, and the sharpness of the sign at 75 feet is looking great. And the license plate is very clear at 10 and 15 feet. And both cameras are still fairly sharp at 20 feet, but the VIOFO looks better. And the VIOFO is definitely doing better at 25 feet, and I can read the VIOFO at 30 feet the best yet. At a price of $120 with the coupon is this PRUVEEO brand. They claim it's a 360-degree 4-channel dash cam, built-in GPS, Wi-Fi, and night vision. It even comes with a 128GB SD card. They claim all 4 cameras can record at 1080p. And the PRUVEEO is made in China. The VIOFO is on the left and the PRUVEEO is on the right. And the PRUVEEO seems underexposed and quite a bit less sharp than the VIOFO. And the sign is pretty grainy at 75 feet. The license plate is pretty easy to read at 10 feet, but the PRUVEEO looks pretty grainy at 15. Unfortunately, I can't read the license plate with the PRUVEEO at 20 feet. Comparing the first place finisher, the VIOFO, against the Miden, you can see a huge difference in sharpness and exposure. And there's also a huge difference in sharpness at 10 and 15 feet, with a huge advantage going to the VIOFO. License plate readability facing into the sunset is somewhat subjective, but the VIOFO came out on top at 30 feet. The Coolcrazy, Red Tiger, ROVE, and Wolfbox tied for second place at 25 feet. Assessing light exposure facing into the sun is highly subjective, but the Red Tiger, ROVE, and VIOFO received the best possible rating of 1. In the next test, let's see how the dash cams perform at capturing the name of the road sign while driving past it at 35 miles per hour. At 30 frames per second, I'm unable to read the road sign while driving past it with the V300. Stopping the video footage and then zooming in on the signs, I can only read one of the 2 signs. And the ARIFAYZ performed a little bit better than the V300, and both signs are readable. The V300 is on the left and the ARIFAYZ is on the right. And the ARIFAYZ definitely did a better job with the signs, and the trees in the background are not as grainy. In case you're wondering, there's nothing on the camera lens of the Miden. It really does look this bad. And the ARIFAYZ is on the left and the Miden is on the right. And the ARIFAYZ definitely offers a sharper image this time. The trees in the background also look sharper with the ARIFAYZ. And the e-yeeger also struggled in this test. Only one of the 2 signs is readable. The Miden is on the left and the e-yeeger is on the right. And the Miden definitely performed better this time. And the OVAMAN claims to offer 4K video, but both road signs appear pretty grainy, as well as the trees in the background. E-yeeger is on the left and the OVAMAN is on the right. Even though the image is pretty grainy, the OVAMAN definitely performed better. And the Coolcrazy claims to offer 4K video, and the Coolcrazy is doing by far the best job yet. OVAMAN is on the left and the Coolcrazy is on the right. And the Coolcrazy offers a much sharper image of both signs, as well as the trees in the background. And the Red Tiger also claims to offer 4K video. And the Red Tiger is also performing well and offering a crisp image of both signs and the trees in the background. Coolcrazy is on the left and the Red Tiger is on the right. Both cameras are doing a great job, but the Coolcrazy seems a little bit sharper. Just like the Red Tiger, the ROVE claims to deliver 4K video. And the sharpness of the signs looks pretty good. Red Tiger is on the left and the ROVE is on the right. And both cameras seem to be performing about the same. And the Wolfbox claims to offer 4K video and seems to be offering just as much sharpness as the Coolcrazy. The ROVE is on the left and the Wolfbox is on the right. And the Wolfbox seems to be offering a sharper image of the signs. And the VIOFO claims to deliver 1440p video, and the VIOFO seems to be performing just about as good as some of the 4K cameras. Wolfbox is on the left and the VIOFO is on the right. And the Wolfbox seems to get the win this time with a little bit sharper image compared to the VIOFO. And the PRUVEEO claims to offer 1080p and the road signs just don't look nearly as sharp compared to the previous 5 brands. The VIOFO is on the left and the PRUVEEO is on the right. And the VIOFO definitely offers a much sharper image of both signs as well as the trees in the background. And the V300 is on the left and the Wolfbox is on the right. And there's a huge difference between the two brands, with the Wolfbox offering a very sharp image. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but the Coolcrazy and the Wolfbox did the best job at providing a sharp image while moving at approximately 35 miles per hour. The Red Tiger, ROVE, and VIOFO also performed well with a rating of 2. Pulling up to an intersection facing into the sunset will really put these cameras to the test. Unfortunately, the V300 is unable to provide a clear image of the road signs just above and below the stop sign. However, the highway sign across the street is grainy but sharp enough to read. And the ARIFAYZ once again is performing better than the V300. One of the two signs is pretty easy to read. The V300 is on the left and the ARIFAYZ is on the right. And the ARIFAYZ is definitely performing a lot better on this test. And the sunset is causing a lot of problems for the Miden. Unfortunately, the road signs are unreadable. The ARIFAYZ is on the left and the Miden is on the right. And the ARIFAYZ definitely performed quite a bit better. Just like the Miden, the e-yeeger is really struggling with the road signs. The Miden is on the left and the e-yeeger is on the right. Unfortunately, both cameras really struggled in this test and I'm unable to read the road signs. Unfortunately, the sunlight from the sunset is also causing issues for the OVAMAN. However, one of the two signs is barely readable. The e-yeeger is on the left and the OVAMAN is on the right, and the OVAMAN is definitely performing better. And the Coolcrazy continues to perform very well and the road sign is pretty easy to read. Even the highway sign across the road looks pretty sharp. OVAMAN is on the left and the Coolcrazy is on the right. And there's a huge difference between the brands and it's a clear advantage for the Coolcrazy. And the Red Tiger continues to perform well and both signs look pretty sharp even with some sun reflection on the sign. Even the road sign across the street is sharp enough to read. Coolcrazy is on the left and the OVAMAN is on the right. And both brands performed about the same with the street signs, but the Red Tiger did provide a sharper image of the yellow sign. And the light from the sunset is really challenging the ROVE. I can read the highway sign across the street but not the street signs just above the stop sign. And the Red Tiger is on the left and the ROVE is on the right. And the Red Tiger definitely performed quite a bit better. And the Wolfbox is also struggling with the light from the sunset. However, both signs are readable and the highway sign across the street is also readable. The ROVE is on the left and the Wolfbox is on the right. And the Wolfbox definitely performed better on this test. And the VIOFO just might be performing the best yet with a pretty sharp image of the road sign across the street as well as the street signs. And the Wolfbox is on the left and the VIOFO is on the right. And the VIOFO is definitely performing better. Even the text on the yellow sign looks pretty sharp. Unfortunately, things are not going well for the PRUVEEO. And the street signs are just not readable. And the highway sign across the street is also not readable. The VIOFO is on the left and the PRUVEEO is on the right. And once again, the VIOFO is outperforming the PRUVEEO. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but the Red Tiger and the VIOFO performed the best with a rating of 1.5. The Coolcrazy and the Wolfbox also performed well with a rating of 2. Night vision performance will definitely put these cameras to the test. Approaching the stop sign, I stopped the vehicle approximately 50 feet away and I couldn't read the green street sign with the V300. I then moved ahead and then stopped 5 additional times in increments of around 8 to 10 feet. At the closest stopping point, I can barely read the street sign with the V300. Overall, the ARIFAYZ looks sharper than the V300. At the 5th stopping point, I'm able to read the street sign, but it's very grainy. At the 6th stopping point, it's a little bit easier to read, but still very grainy. And it might really struggle with daytime and sunset performance, but it's performing a little bit better at night. Just like the ARIFAYZ, the sign is pretty hard to read at the 5th stopping point. However, at the 6th stopping point, the street sign is the easiest to read yet. And the e-yeeger also struggled quite a bit with daytime performance and it's not looking good for the nighttime performance either. Unfortunately, the street sign is unreadable at each and every stopping point. And the OVAMAN performed a little bit better than the previous brands at reading the license plate, but it really struggled with most of the other tests. And the OVAMAN is struggling to read the street sign, but is finally readable at the 6th and final stopping point. And the Coolcrazy has outperformed all the previous brands in every test so far. And the Coolcrazy is outperforming the previous brands once again. The reflective green sign is pretty readable at the 5th stop and very easy to read on the 6th stop. And the Red Tiger has performed very well throughout the showdown and better than the Coolcrazy in some categories. And Red Tiger is doing the best so far with the sign barely readable on the 4th stop, which is the best yet. The 5th stopping point is looking pretty sharp, and the 6th stopping point looks the best yet. And the ROVE has performed fairly well throughout the showdown, but not quite as well as the Coolcrazy on average. And the ROVE is finally capturing a pretty sharp image on the 5th stopping point. At the 6th stopping point, it's still looking pretty good. And the Wolfbox is another one of the best performing dash cameras in the showdown so far. And the sign is barely readable on the 4th stopping point. The street sign is pretty easy to read on the 5th stopping point and very easy to read on the final stopping point. And the VIOFO has outperformed most of the other cameras in most of the testing so far. And the VIOFO moves into the lead at the third stopping point. The image is very grainy but the best so far. The VIOFO just produced the best image yet on the fourth stopping point. And the fifth and sixth stopping points look nice and sharp. With only a 1080p main camera, the PRUVEEO is at a pretty big disadvantage compared to the previous 5 brands. And the PRUVEEO is finally gaining a clear image of the street sign on the 5th stopping point. And the 6th stopping point is looking even better. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but the VIOFO came out on top with the best possible rating of 1. The Red Tiger and the Wolfbox tied for second place with a finish of 1.5. And the final and most challenging test yet, let's see which dashcam does the best job of providing a clear image of a light box sign with a digital display. And the V300 is really struggling and cannot read the name on the sign or the gas price on the digital display. And the ARIFAYZ costs $8 more than the V300 and is performing about 99 cents better. Unfortunately, the ARIFAYZ is overwhelmed by all the light from the sign and the digital display. I promise some of the other dash cams are going to perform a lot better. And the $40 Miden has trailed the $22 V300 in several tests and is struggling on this test as well. Unfortunately, the Miden is unable to read the sign or the fuel prices. And the e-yeeger has struggled the most of all the dash cam in the review so far, but it's performing marginally better with the lighted sign. The digital display is very blurry but marginally better than the first 3 brands. And the OVAMAN has struggled quite a bit throughout the showdown, but is performing better on this test than the first 4 brands. I'm unable to read the price of gasoline, but diesel appears to cost $3.35 per gallon. And the Coolcrazy has pretty much ran circles around the first 5 brands throughout the entire showdown. And the Coolcrazy is by far the best yet, in the lighted box and the digital display are very easy to read. And the Red Tiger has performed better than the Coolcrazy in most categories, but not this one. Unfortunately, the lighted box is unreadable and the digital display is also very difficult to read. And the ROVE has performed better than average in most categories and is doing a great job on this test. While not quite as sharp as the Coolcrazy, the lighted box and the digital display are readable with the ROVE. And the Wolfbox has also performed better than average in most categories, but is struggling on this test. Unfortunately, the lighted box is unreadable and the digital display is marginally readable at best. And the VIOFO has outperformed the competition in most categories throughout the showdown. Even from a couple hundred feet away, the VIOFO is providing a pretty readable image of the digital display and the gas station brand. Up close, the VIOFO is by far the best yet. Very impressive. And the PRUVEEO is at a huge disadvantage at 1080p and it continues to struggle on this test. Unfortunately, the lighted box is unreadable and the digital display is pretty difficult to read. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but the VIOFO received the best possible rating of 1. Coolcrazy performed almost as well with a rating of 1.5 and ROVE finished in 3rd place with a rating of 2. To help viewers make a more informed buying decision, I've attempted to put together an accurate list of dashcam features and specifications. However, there was a lot of conflicting information when comparing the manufacturer's information with the marketing information. So please double check the information that I provided just to make sure the information that I provided is correct. I decided not to test the rear-facing camera since none of them offer 4K and 1080p just doesn't offer an acceptable performance in my opinion. So which dash cam is the best? I've converted raw performance into a 1st to 11th place ranking. And the VIOFO pretty much ran circles around the competition and had an average finish of 1.3. It only offers a forward-facing camera, but if it were me, I'd buy a second camera for the rear window if a second camera is desired. The Red Tiger is also a terrific camera and had an average finish of 2.2. The Coolcrazy finished in 3rd place with an average finish of 2.7. If I can only choose one dash cam, I'd definitely go with the VIOFO. However, I'd also buy the Red Tiger and the Coolcrazy if the price was right. I didn't think we'd see such a huge difference in performance among the brands. Please check out the video description if you'd like to see more details about each of the products. All the videos in this channel, including this one, are viewer suggested, so if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, please take care and look forward to next time.